Welcome back, friends. My name is Connor, and today we're taking a Bradford pear log and creating a stunning wooden vase that's perfect for dry flowers. What starts as a chunk of wood from your backyard can transform into a centerpiece worthy of any dining table. From roughing the stock to the finishing touches, this video will give you the essential knowledge to create your very own. So grab your gear, warm up those tools, and let's make some wood chips fly. Shop fix. It's for the love of woodworking. First things first, we need to secure the drive center into one end and tighten the tailstock on the other. We need to mount the log so that it's balanced on the lathe. Start by finding the center on both ends of the log. Now give it a spin. If it's causing the lathe to shake, it most likely needs rebalancing. Simply loosen the tailstock and reposition. And don't forget to lock the tool rest and rotate the stock by hand to double check your clearances. Well, it's time to rough out the shape and clear the bark with a large roughing gouge. Use your dominant hand to hold the handle near its end. This provides better control and leverage. Your non-dominant hand guides the blade along the tool rest. Always keep the bevel of the chisel in contact with the wood. This is called riding the bevel. This prevents chatter and ensures smooth cuts. You can also rotate the chisel slightly to expose less of the bevel on these rough cuts. When your stock becomes more uniform in shape, you can open up that bevel more to take much deeper passes. Oh, and if you ever wanted to feel like a human wood chip factory, well then this is your moment. Next up, we're using the parting tool to create the tenon. That's the part that'll fit into the 4-jaw chuck later on. Use calipers to check the size as you go. Aim for a diameter that is just a bit smaller than the chuck's jaws when they're open. Let's save the eyeball measurements for the pizza slices. Precision is your best friend here. Now let's give this log a flip, literally. First, remove the drive spindle by lightly tapping it with a rubber mallet. Then thread the 4-jaw chuck onto the lathe. Now you can mount your log into the opening of the chuck. I also like to use the tailstock, so I'll slide that into place. Then afterwards, use the chuck key to tighten all 4 jaws evenly. This ensures the stock is perfectly centered. Tighten everything securely. We don't want any surprises when the lathe gets up to speed. Now that the stock is secure, it's time to get creative and shape the vase with a spindle gouge or skew chisel to create flowing lines that complement your vision. There's no right or wrong way to design a vase. My goal is to provide you tips to aid in your success. When you're ready, I recommend using a parting tool to create a small groove that separates the base from the rest of the stock. This step ensures the base is well defined and stable. A well-balanced base should be slightly narrower than the widest point of the vase, and this gives it a nice aesthetic appeal. Now let's refine the top and create that beautiful flared opening. Begin by defining the rim with a clean shallow cut, and gradually widen the opening to achieve the desired flare. Step back periodically to visualize the overall design as you bring out the vase's personality with each pass. The goal is to achieve a clean, elegant flare that complements the body of the vase. I usually come up with my vase designs in the moment. However, if you're wood turning a vase for the very first time, consider looking up vase designs and trying to replicate one, or adding to the design. I'm no illustrator, but if you're skilled with drafting, perhaps sketch your design beforehand. Once your design has been achieved, you can then switch to sandpaper. Begin with a coarse grit like 40 or 80 to remove tool marks and shape any uneven areas, and to smooth the curves of your design. Once the whole vase has been rough sanded, then it will be time to remove the tailstock. We will now be installing a taper drill chuck with a 1-inch auger bit. This will allow us to drill a perfectly centered hole in our vase for dry flowers. Drill your hole slow and steady, and match the RPMs on your lathe to the diameter of the drill bit for a smooth process. Once the hole has been drilled, you can refine the top and add some style with chisels and sandpaper. Smooth edges are key. Now the sanding marathon begins. Work your way up through the grits all the way to 3,500. This is where your vase goes from nice to whoa, did you make that? Wipe the vase with a damp cloth between grits to raise the grain and ensure a smoother final surface. I found that these small sanding pads work wonders over the paper versions for wood turning projects. And don't skip any grits. It's like trying to run a marathon without any training. You'll just end up sore and disappointed. Trust me, I've had to redo this whole process. Now it's time for the magic touch, Odie's hard wax. Before applying this dream finish, be sure to thoroughly mix the wax all together. You'll want to apply it with a non-woven pad and let it soak in the wood for at least 30 minutes. This step enhances the grain and makes the wood absolutely glow. Odie's hard wax is a great one-step finish for vases and is also one of the most time-efficient ways to finish wood turning projects. I really cannot recommend this stuff more. Now grab a lint-free cotton cloth and buff out all the wax. Take your time buffing until the surface feels dry and smooth to the touch. I think the combination of the gorgeous Bradford pear log, plus a great design and a fantastic hard wax finish made for one of my most beautiful natural looking vases I've ever made. Well, last but certainly not least, carefully cut the vase free with a Japanese pole saw. Use a box and a towel as a catch basin, because no one wants to explain why their masterpiece fell and cracked after all that effort. Simply sand the bottom flat if need be. And there you have it, a beautiful wood turn vase decorated with natural dried flowers. Whether you're just getting started with wood turning or you're a seasoned pro, I hope this project sparks some creativity. If you had as much fun as I did, smash that like button and hit subscribe for more awesome projects. Well, until next time, happy woodworking, my friends.